Hi, welcome to the Signature Motors podcast. I'm Alex, the workshop manager at LSD Auto.
There's stories that I can tell the listeners, horrific stories about workshops.
So if you see that logo displayed on a workshops like LSD Auto, if you see the RMI logo, you know that there's been a massive vetting process that took place before that workshop could get accredited by them, which gives you the peace of mind.
People think to service your car is just a normal thing, but there's more involved in servicing a car. I mean, I can service a car, the next I can service a car.
I've been servicing this vehicle since 2019 with a specific gentleman. We've done 30 services in the meantime. We came in for his 300,000k service this morning.
You get these oaks advertised service for 199. Is it really possible to service a car for 199 Rand?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Wilfred, why did you get involved with a workshop like LSD Auto?
Alex, yeah, it's a good question. Been in this industry for many years. Signature Motors is now going 17 years next month. We've dealt with a lot of workshops around this area. And there's stories that I can tell the listeners, horrific stories about workshops. So we decided, once we've met you, your integrity is right. You're a man of God, and we decided we want to get you involved, get you on our premises, and get involved with LSD. Not only because we believe in you, it's because we want to give a service to our customers, and we want to give a proper service, and we don't want to deal with fly-by-nights anyway.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So, my question to you, Alex, people talk about approved workshops. What does approved workshop mean? I mean, everybody can open a workshop. What does an approved workshop mean?
That's a brilliant question. So an approved workshop in this setting would be a workshop that's accredited by the RMI and MIWA. So that basically tells you in short that the workshop they work according to a strict code of conduct set out by MIWA and the RMI. They also they work according to a code of ethics, and they're only allowed to do things in a certain manner, which is regulated. And in order to get that accreditation from RMI and MIWA, you go through a very stringent process of checks for them to see if you've got the correct tooling, the correct people that are relevantly qualified, and if your premises is up to scratch. So if you see that logo displayed on a workshops like LSD Auto, if you see the RMI logo, you know that there's been a massive vetting process that took place before that workshop could get accredited by them, which gives you the peace of mind. The second thing that it gives you is your right to repair. So your right to repair means if your vehicle has OEM warranty or anything like that, the customer actually has the choice to take it to a workshop, and that there's all these benefits for the customer, and it gives you peace of mind.
If you're talking about RMI, what does RMI stands for?
The retail motor industry, the regulating authority.
When last did you have an audit from the RMI? Because I believe there's audits involved.
Yes, we go through biannual audits. We had one yesterday actually, and we got graded 5-star.
Brilliant. So 5-star
Means we're as high as we can get.
top notch.
That's it.
Okay, Alex, I think to the listeners out there that looking at LSD Auto and Signature Motors, people think to service your car is just a normal thing, but there's more involved in servicing a car. I mean, I can service a car, the next I can service a car. Why do you need to service your car at an approved RMI workshop?
So obviously, coming to an approved RMI workshop, you know that you're getting a qualified staff member working on your vehicle. And you're also getting the top quality parts available in their guidelines. For example, a gentleman's car that we serviced this morning. I've been servicing this vehicle since 2019 for this specific gentleman. We've done 30 services in the meantime. We came in for his 300,000k service this morning. The engine's never been opened. That car still runs like a Swiss clock. And that's because of regular maintenance at an approved place by qualified staff.
And my question to you is, it's very important to use the right oil.
Absolutely.
on the right parts and the right tools.
No, absolutely. Oil is make or break. If you go for the cheapest and you have the notion that oil is just oil, it's the difference between an engine lasting 500,000 kilometers and 50,000 kilometers. The Ford specifically will destroy the belt if you use the wrong oil. So it's very important to know what goes in which cars.
Now it's interesting to tell the people, especially if you're talking about all you get these oaks advertised service for $199. Is it really possible to service a car for 199 rand?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. 10 times out of 10, there's a gimmick involved in those service your car from, very ridiculously low price. They basically just include the labor in that, and then they tell you T's and C's apply, which would be all your parts and everything. And if they are managing to service your vehicle at 500 Rand or 300 Rand, I wouldn't trust it. I wouldn't drive anywhere further than the block.
So the saying is,
Goedkoop is duurkoop.
goedkoop is duurkoop.
Absolutely.
Alex, I think for the people out there, we get a guarantee and you get a warranty. And I think and then you get a motor plan and then you get a service plan. And I think there's a big difference between those type of things. People think if I've got a warranty, they can claim anything. Just tell us, what is the difference between a warranty and a normal maintenance plan?
So that's a common misconception that if you've got a warranty, everything on your car is covered and you've got no liability or worries in the world.
Like, for example, what? Brakes.
Brakes, for example, any wear and tear item when it comes to servicing your vehicle, doing brakes, repairing the clutch, the wiper blades, all of that, that comes onto you unless you've bought a brand new vehicle from the OEM and they've given you a full maintenance plan or a full motor plan. That's still your responsibility to cover the costs of. A warranty itself will cover mechanical components and whatever else is stipulated in your policy schedule. But there's terms to it. You have to do your regular maintenance. You have to stay within a reasonable mileage use. So you have to do your part as a consumer and as the owner of that vehicle to maintain it and to look after it and make use of the warranty within reason. And then it's also, you don't just walk in and throw your key and say, fix it. There's a process that needs to be followed. You're going to book your car into an accredited workshop. They're going to do a diagnostic. They're going to submit it to the insurer, and the insurer will then either send an assessor or do a process to qualify it for a warranty claim, and then only say, okay, they'll pay this amount of money and do this amount of work. So there's responsibilities from both the client and the policyholder when it comes to maintaining the car and making use of such policies. Okay, Wilfred, in all your years in this industry, you've obviously come across a few instances where customers get quite upset when they are quoted with a repair or cost on a vehicle that they don't fully understand, and they immediately think, wow, these guys are just charging me a whole bunch of money, or they are out to get me. Have you ever dealt with something like that?
Yeah, I think regularly. I think it's a question of how did we treat the customers? How do we inform the customers? And it's very important for a sales guys to sell a car. It's easy, but if you want to create a relationship with your customer, you need to inform him. Listen, sir, your car needs to be serviced at 10,000 kilometers. It needs to be done at 10,000 kilometers. So I always refer LSD workshop as the car doctor. If you don't look after your health, you're not going to live long enough. And it's the same with a car. Yes, and we come across a lot of those customers that I think they've never opened their bonnets. They're not educated to check water and oil. They ask for the petrol attendant to do that for them. And I think that's where LSD is coming in, to educate the customer. Sir, don't let the petrol attendant touch your bonnet. So just give us your reason why people can rather come and stop here and you can check the oil for them, because that's probably one of the biggest faults people are making.
No, definitely. What we do experience almost on a daily basis is customers who are misinformed or ill-informed. They'll stop at the garage and ask the guys, hey, quickly check my oil and my water. And these guys, there's nothing wrong with the way they work, but they're not informed as to how the systems work. So they'll open the radiator cap while it's still boiling hot, and they'll cause an airlocking, which could result in head gasket damage, serious engine damage, or they'll see the oil is low and they will immediately just top up with whatever they've got at the garage, which also could be a huge damage to the vehicle if you don't know what you're doing. So yeah, it's very important. Rather just stop by at LSD. We'll even make you a cup of coffee. We're very friendly. Come through. We'll check it for you, and we'll make sure it's done right.
I think there's a perception in the industry that workshops are not honest. What can you tell the people about LSD?
So at LSD, our motto is literally God first. So we work according to our own beliefs and ethics, and we believe that everything should be done in a point of honesty and integrity. So, for example, somebody brings in their car for a service, and I give them a quote. Let's hypothesize it's 7,000 rand, for example, for major service and a cam belt and whatever. And this guy says, "Wow, it cannot be that much." I'll go as far as to show, look, this is what it's costing me. These are my labor costs for my staff members. I've got MIBCO to pay. I've got maintenance on the building. So it's not that we're out to kill the people and make money and, get ridiculously rich, ridiculously quick. We've also got overheads to cover, and we make use of qualified staff. So that also comes at a cost. So for LSD, I can speak for ourselves. We're not out to screw people over, if I can put it that way. We want to get the job done right. We want to get the job done right the first time. And we want to make sure that whoever we service and whichever customer we interact with leaves with the most positive possible experience, to say, you know what, if you need something, go to LSD. They help me out. That's why even if you look at our personal pages, we have very good ratings, 5-star, nothing lower than 5-star, because we're always honest, always friendly, and we're always there for our customers.
So Alex, before we stop this podcast, what is the challenges? I've got my challenges in my position. What is the challenges for a workshop manager? Your day-to-day challenges. I mean, you can't look at everything in your workshop. You can't check every little thing that your mechanics are doing. And our motto is the same as Signature Motors. If we make a mistake, we'll rectify it afterwards. But what is your biggest challenges?
Wow. I think our biggest challenges in the workshop is, obtaining the parts correctly the first time at the right price that you obviously quoted your customer, and then getting everything to streamline in a manner that you can make your work for the day profitable, and you can make everybody productive, and make sure that the work flows in a certain way. So the balancing act of having, for instance, 10 vehicles, 5 technicians, and parts that are coming from 3 different places, to make it all line up, to make sure that it's done between 7:30 and 5, and all the customers are contacted and everything is collected and delivered at the correct time. And it takes quite a bit of planning. There's quite a bit of input. With the guys, I like to, check in every 45 to an hour and see with them, where are you with this job? What do you need? How can I assist you? What are you short with? And, then obviously do my planning thereafter, because the situation can change minute by minute. We can be dealing with A and then it becomes E or Z. And you need to be very quick. You need to be very dynamic. You need to be on the ball. We need to think very quickly, be ready to delegate, and also be ready to take delegation. If your peers really, really, really like mine, if they need me for something that I'm never going to say, that's beneath me, or I'm not going to do that, or I don't have the time. If I need to climb in, grab a spanner, do something, I will. If I need to go wash a car, I will. If I need to drive to fetch a parts, if it means that I get the job done and I get a satisfied customer and a good end result, that's what it takes.
Well, I presume it's a challenge because we work on different brands.
So many different, all the brands.
All the brands. And there's new brands coming in.
Yes, yeah.
So yeah, parts must be a
So we've got quite a vast catalog of suppliers that we use on a daily basis, obviously for the different brands and the different oils and everything. But to keep up, again, something that RMI brings into and Miwa brings into the perspective, to keep up with knowing how to work on all of those cars and having their technical data ready and knowing what goes where. Being members of a authority like that or RMI, they actually give you all of that technical information. They provide training. So your technicians are always up to date. So that makes it a whole lot easier as well to know where you're getting your parts from and how to do the work.
They also give you the service schedules and the information.
Yes, they do.
Correct.
They do, yeah. So they've got quite a few systems in place where you can actually just search by a VIN number or make and model, and you can see all of the data for that vehicle so that you don't misinform your customers. Helps a lot.
Alex, you're a master technician. Perhaps you must explain to us what is a master technician, first of all, and secondly, what is the, let's call it free main tips you want to give to the people out there? What must they look out for and what must they do or not do?
Okay, yeah, well, that's a broad question. So master technician is somebody who has gone through the entire qualifications process, done your 3 to 4 years in college, obtained your trade certificate, and then done a lot of brand and component specific training thereafter. So yeah, I've gone through all of that. I've been qualified now just over a decade, so that helps me a lot as well. The 3 do's, I would say, always take your vehicle to an authorized service center to have it maintained. Never forget to maintain your vehicle or think that you can leave it for later, and always use good quality oil. And then things that I don't want people to do is if I give you an educated opinion on something, they say, yeah, but Google said, you're not going to tell that to your doctor, and we studied for the same amount of time. So don't rely on Google. Rather, speak to somebody who's got real world experience in that specific field. It helps a lot. And then never, ever, ever open your water bottle when it's hot. It's summer now. We're going to sit with problems.
Yeah, I think you're talking about the water bottle, but I've seen it many times where people stop and the petrol attendant said, you need some oil. Is there a big effect if your car's got too much oil in? Is it as bad as not enough oil?
Yeah, so either could be very detrimental. In some cases, having too much oil is worse than having too little oil. Especially in diesel vehicles, you get what's called a runaway, whereby it's gonna push the oil up, circulate it back through the intake, and the vehicle will run at max RPM until it's either out of oil or it heat seizes. So it's extremely important not to overfill your car. It's just as important as keeping your oil level, on its point.
So the best tip I've got as the pin pusher is never check your oil when your car is hot. Is that
100%? 100%. Always let it stand a little bit.
Why?
Cools out. So oil also expands and contracts as it reaches heat. Like hydraulic oil, like power steering oil, for example, has a large expansion rate. So that's something you never want to physically inspect when it's warm. But engine oil as well, it's got an expansion rate. So you always want the vehicle to stay a little bit for all the oil to come out of the galleries and settle in the sump so that you can check the level. And then you also want the oil to be at a reasonable temperature where it's not at a expanded point. It's quite important.
So can I invite all especially our lady customers, if they pass Signature Motors, they can stop here and we can check their water and oil.
Absolutely.
As a free service.
As a free service, we'll go a step further. We'll check your washer fluid as well. Everybody's welcome. We'll even make coffee and tea.
As you guys have met Alex now, our workshop manager, we would love to get your comments on your experience, or let's say your bad experience with workshops. We'd love to comment back to you. Please like our podcast and subscribe.